Alright guys, Quantum back here again, bringing you another Dark Souls 3 video. This time we are fighting Slave Knight Gael, the final boss of the Ringed City DLC for Dark Souls 3. And you know how we do it, we like to challenge ourselves, and we are doing this on New Game Plus 7 at Soul level 125. New Game Plus 7, of course, being the max difficulty for Dark Souls, and Soul level 125, you know, severely underleveled for this new game cycle. Nonetheless, though, you're going to see that it's not too hard to beat this boss once you understand his attack patterns. There's 3 phases to the boss fight, and this first phase you can see very simple for us to just move around, stay agile, and dodge all his attacks. He's not necessarily slow, but he's very telegraphed with all his attacks. And once you understand that, you can easily roll through and just, you know, not take a single hit. And that's exactly what you're going to see us do in this first half here. We go through the phase 1 absolutely flawless. Now, the setup that we're using here is a Great Shield of Glory, simply because in this first phase, all he does is physical, and actually throughout the entire fight, he does a fair amount of physical damage. So having a shield with really high stability will really help you block some of those really hard to see or really quick hits from him that you may not be able to react to. Secondly, we're using a Karthus Curved Sword, and the reason for that is because we want something that's fast, but we also want something that can kind of deal a little bit of extra punch, because as you can see here, whenever we go in for a punish on phase 1, we're usually getting like 2 or 3 hits, and we can get them, you know, in kind of a quick succession. So the bleed damage does build up quite frequently, and we do end up bleeding him, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the entirety of phase 1. So it's very effective in my opinion. It works really well. I was able to complete phase 1 multiple times without taking a single hit. You can check the live streams on the channel for that if you want to see them. His moves in phase 1, they're not very hard to understand once you see them. So what you just saw him do there when he screams, it means he's going to do like 4, you know, really fast ground attacks, and then he's going to jump in the air at the end and slam down into the ground. All you need to do is keep backing up with your shield up, or roll away to dodge all through the attacks, and as soon as he jumps up, anytime he jumps up, whether he's far away and he jumps up at you, whether he's close by and he jumps up, whatever he's doing, anytime he jumps up in the air, wait until he's coming down and then roll in towards him. That'll allow you to A, dodge his attack, and B, follow up with like 2 or 3 really good hits for damage. So there you can see it, 1, 2, 3, and then shield up, oh, and then roll away. Oh, and there you can see he actually broke our guard, but it didn't matter because he doesn't really follow up all too quickly, even if he does break your guard. I mean, sometimes you might get hit, so be a little bit careful, but always better to have that shield up than to take the hit, right? If he staggers you out of your shield block animation, then, you know, you may take a little bit of extra damage, but you can see there that it was worth the trade in that situation because I didn't end up taking any damage, and, you know, we ended up doing quite well in this first section. Now, I also opted for the Lloyd Shield Ring because, like I said, once you understand phase 1, it's very easy not to take a hit. So, maximizing your damage, just getting through the phase quicker using the Lloyd's Sword Ring. Now, I activated an Ember here because we started off phase 1 very well. Like I said, we eat a Green Blossom, which in my opinion is very important to kind of find areas where you can keep your stamina up because you're really going to need it. Now, in the second phase of the boss fight, obviously there's a lot of changes. So the first thing that you noticed probably is his attacks are kind of followed up by his cape, where it kind of has like a lagging effect. And there you can see I blocked his attack, but I took some chip damage from that follow-up. It makes dodging a little bit harder because even if you dodge the sword, you may still get hit by the cape itself and take some damage from that. So the easiest things to do in that situation is to roll towards it, because the hitbox, as you can see from that horizontal swing that he just did, the hitbox is around him, but it's not immediately in his vicinity. So it's easier if you're like right beside him, you actually won't take a hit from the follow-up of the sword attack, and that is very useful and not something that many people know. Likewise, with the crossbow that he uses, it is very good to keep your shield. Again, another reason why the Great Shield of Glory is really good. Max stability and 100% physical resistance. Pretty good elemental resistance, but you can easily keep that shield up, and you don't lose very much stability when you're blocking all those arrows, and it really can save you, because if you get hit in succession by those arrows, you'll die instantly. So it's really good for that. Not to mention the miracle that he uses apparently is pure physical, so if you block it, you won't take any damage, but it's very easy to roll through, as you've seen me do a few times. Now, what you want to fish for in this second phase of the boss fight is those vertical attacks. If he's starting to do horizontal attacks, as you can see there, it's a little bit harder to dodge because, you know, you're rolling side to side. Only if you're consistently rolling towards him where will you consistently dodge the horizontal attacks. The vertical attacks, though, they're very easy to dodge because, again, you can roll side to side and then go in for a punish very easily. It's, you know, a lot more intuitive to roll side to side than to always roll towards somebody, because if you roll back or forth from somebody, you still may get caught by a vertical sweep, and most of his attacks are vertical. Now there you just saw me block one of his it's kind of like special horizontal sword swings there, and I was able to block it, and that's one of the reasons why you always want to keep your shield up and just keep kind of like in his face. So don't be afraid. That's why you have your shield. And if you stay afraid, he's just gonna aggro you to death, because he does not stop. He's relentless, right? It's supposed to be like the hardest boss in the game now, so you know, keep on it. Now his attacks in this phase, a lot of them are vertical attacks. There's one where he does a vertical followed up by a horizontal. You got to be careful of that one. But for the most part, they're pretty easy to dodge. So as you can see here, just as soon as you see them coming towards you, get ready to roll, and you'll never get hit. So we pretty much played through this whole first phase or second phase flawless until I made a mistake by switching out my weapon. I don't really know why I did this. I was planning to try this out, but I made the critical error of not understanding that my armor wasn't the old setup that I was using, and I was using heavier armor. So me trying to use the Exile Great Sword would actually put me over 70%, so I had to quickly change stuff back, and yeah, so we ended up taking a few hits and activating our Tears of Denial when I was trying to switch back my weapon, but you know, we pretty much got through phase 2 flawlessly aside from that. Now phase 3, he becomes a lot more aggressive, and his moves are now combo, so you cannot simply, you know, bait his attack out and then go in for a punish. You have to understand the strings of attacks that he's doing. So you can see here, he follows up there, like he does a vertical swing, a horizontal swing, and then a vertical swing again. And after that, then you can go in for the attack. You got to be very, very, very careful of those horizontal swings, because as you saw right there, it's very easy to get caught up when you're trying to roll away, because the arc is encircling around him and it's so wide. So it's very, very easy to take damage. Keep your shield up as you roll, so that, you know, in the case that you do recover from your roll, you would have your shield up, and at least you'll mitigate a lot of the damage. Always watch your stamina bar. This last phase of the boss fight is not about dishing out a lot of damage. It's about playing safe. It's all about picking your moments, because if you get too aggressive, he'll kill you in one combo. At least on NG+7 at soul level 125 he does. So be very, very careful of that. And as soon as you understand the attack patterns, you see him kind of lagging behind, recovering from one of his moves, you know that you can go in for the kill. So here you can see I didn't want to take the risk on that 2-hit combo because I didn't know if he was going to recover in time. There I took a bit of a risk and almost paid the price for it, but got away. So when he does that kind of swooping attack, you know it's going to be a 3-hit combo. So he does the kind of swoop, then the horizontal, and he's supposed to follow up with a vertical. And there you can see again a 2-hit combo. So every single move now is followed up by something else more or less. So be very, very careful. There you can see again, he does a horizontal into kind of like the overhead attack. So be very, very wary of those things. Once you understand like the big attacks, you know which ones are safe and where you can punish. So there again, that's the big combo that he likes to do. And you can see I went in for 3 hits because it takes so much time for him to recover from that. Again, he's going in 1, there's 2, and we're too far away from him to complete the 3rd and final motion of the attack. So again, we're not being the aggressor here. We're waiting for him to attack before we follow up, and that is the key. Again, patience and picking your moments. Don't get too aggressive. You know, don't try to get in too close, because again, some of his moves can be a little bit unpredictable. And there you can see I blocked and I tried to roll away from the final one, and I got hit, so I had to recover my health again. But that's pretty much the boss battle. It's just a battle of attrition for the 3rd phase. You probably will take some hits, so you should have a lot of Estus ready. When he kind of does that like moaning where he releases all those skulls, you can go in for a couple of hits, but again, be wary of the lightning. Obviously, the lightning is telegraphed on the ground of the desert, so you know, stay away from those areas unless you want to take a lot of damage, and you'll be fine. So the phase 3, the big thing really is just understanding that you can't go in for easy hits like you could in phase 2 and phase 1. You have to really wait for the combo. And yeah, same thing with healing. Don't just try to heal out of the blue. Again, pick a moment where you would normally attack, and then instead of attacking, use that opportunity to heal. If you try to heal just out of the blue, he will aggro and possibly combo you to death. So be very, very careful of that. But that's pretty much the video, guys. I'm not going to really go over it anymore. Overall, you know, pretty fun DLC. The boss, not too bad once you understand how to go about it. It did take me a fair number of tries, probably over 50, I don't know, maybe around 50. You know, it takes a while to learn each phase, but once you do, right, you guys saw phase 1 and 2 pretty much flawless, very, very easy. Phase 3, I only, you know, played it a few times, so it wasn't too hard to understand the pattern and get it down, but once you do, you know, very, very easy to just, you know, keep dodging, keep agile, and you'll make it out. And yes, I did opt for the Karthus Curve Sword throughout the entire battle. You could probably use something a little bit different for phase 3 since you aren't consistently hitting him. The bleed buildup probably isn't doing any extra damage. So if you have a faster weapon, a safer weapon, a weapon that might deal a little bit more damage in that situation, for phase 3 it might be worth it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, and again, subscribe if you want to see more Dark Souls 3 content. Quantum is out.